your actual literal purpose as a bodybuilder is to go to the gym and intelligently, rationally, logically, knowingly do what nature requires merely to activate the growth mechanism, then get the hell out, go home, rest, and grow.
Intense training is purposeful behavior aimed at the goal of increasing muscular size and strength. The important point to remember here is that you will grow progressively larger and stronger muscles only when you train with increasing levels of intensity. Intense training is purposeful behavior aimed at the goal of increasing muscular size and strength.
So this is how I developed my chest using the Mike Mentzer Heavy Duty system. Now, it's not an exact carbon copy. However, I have implemented the foundation of it and adjusted it slightly. So for those who are not aware, Mike Mentzer, bodybuilder, amazing physique, all the other stuff, had a philosophy to his training which involved high intensity, low volume. Now, a lot of people, they like to do volume because, you know, they feel the fatigue, they feel all the side effects of overworking the muscle. However, Mentzer's approach was slightly different. You work the muscle enough, you let it rest and recover. So for example, he would do one working set and then he wouldn't work the muscle again for like 7 to 10 days. So obviously do warm-up sets, one working set, whatever. But we are not exactly going to do that. I'm going to show you how I do mine. I'm going to show you the exercises that I do for my chest as well and how I approach. So we're going to start off with the incline press. Now, for example, we would do a working set, two working sets. So this is my approach to it, 2 working sets and a few warm-up sets. So roughly I like to do 1 or 2 warm-up sets. So before we actually get into the working sets, I would just warm up with this weight. It's a moderately heavy weight, close to what I would be pushing for my working set, just to make sure everything is firing correctly and the muscles are ready to go. After that, and this is just an example, let's say this was my working set, I will obviously take enough rest in between each set. And now this weight would be my working set weight. Now ideally, I'm gonna push for at least, everyone's different, but I would say minimum 4, maximum maybe 6 or 7 reps, because again, it is low volume, high intensity, which is gonna allow our body to recover. So we don't wanna be doing an outrageous amount of reps, an outrageous amount of sets, because that's gonna put more fatigue and the body's going to take longer to recover. However, we still need to get the intensity factor. So doing that amount of reps isn't going to elicit too much muscular damage. So for example, it's my working set. Let's say we get 4 reps. Boom, we're done with that set. We do 1 more. After that, we leave it alone. Now ideally in my sessions, I like to do 2 exercises per body part. So right now I'm running an upper lower sort of thing. So my upper days, I do two exercises per body part. So I'm going to show you some other exercises. You don't have to do them all in the same day unless you like to program a chest day, a tricep day. It's up to you. However, for me, I wouldn't do all these exercises in the same day. So we hit the upper chest obviously with the incline press. Now we're going to focus on the lower chest. Now Mike Mentzer was a big fan of dips. He called it upper body squat. He said it is probably the best exercise that you could do for your chest. I would probably agree with that if done correctly and if done with the right mechanisms. Now obviously the foundation of this is a calisthenics exercise, which means it doesn't require weight, but we want to get the most out of it. We want to save time and be as efficient as possible. So what we can do, again, we do a warm-up set. So let's say we do a warm-up set with body weight, just focusing on good form. Then what you can do to take it to the next level is get a dip belt, a weight vest, anything like that, which is going to make it more intense and bring those reps down with the same level of intensity involved, guys. So obviously if you don't have a dip belt, weighted vest, whatever, you are just gonna have to bang out reps. That is just the reality of it. However, if you do have access to weights and things that I am using, then this is the method that you can do to take your chest to another level. So weighted dips. Now some people are able to put a dumbbell in between their legs, and you know, that's another thing altogether. But however, so we would now do our working set with the dip belt, the weight added as well, and then that way we can keep those reps low, intensity high, guys. And after that we leave it alone. Again, I would only do 2 sets. That's my preference. If I'm really trying to work the muscle, I may push for 3 at a very max. But the days of me doing 4, 5, 6 reps for a body part, 4, 5, 6 sets for a body part are well and truly over. It's not beneficial, it's not worth it in my opinion. But you live and you learn, you know, you pick up these things over time. So for some people, or for most, doing an incline press and a dip would probably be more than enough to work the chest, to build up your chest. I'm going to just show you 2 more exercises that you can do if these are not really, you know, your cup of tea. And obviously the other one, you could add in, you could program it in as well. So let's get into the next one. So the next exercise is going to be a fly. Now again, you don't have to do all these in the same day, guys. So you can program these in at different times of, you know, your schedule, your routine. However, I'm a big fan of flies. I used to do them with cables. Obviously, if you don't have cables, you just gonna have to do them with dumbbells, weights, whatever. But again, all we're doing is just making sure that we're getting a nice stretch on the chest, just like that. Now obviously doing this with cables or some sort of machine is probably going to be more beneficial and reap better results, just because of the nature of how it is. Obviously the dumbbells, you have to hold it in a fixed position and kind of maintain the arm position, whereas the cable, you can kind of focus more on the movement. However, this is all you got, then you can still utilize the exercise. But flies, again, the same principle, 2 sets, again 6 to 8